one remarkable thing I remember nung pag-upo ni PBBM is how quickly they were able to restore normalcy.
Masasabi mo ba na noong at this point na nakabalik na kayo doon sa pre-pandemic levels o bumabawi pa?
Actually, 2023 was a record-breaking year for all our businesses. That was right after the opening of the economy. PBBM had already come in 2022. Then 2023, that was, I think, the full recovery already. You saw na all our businesses were on all-time high, even higher than pre-pandemic.
Magandang araw po sa inyo lahat. Ako po si RJ Nieto ng Thinking Pinoy. Ito po ang ating Pre-Sona Special. Sa mga ngayon lang po nakapanood nito, ito yung ating series na ipapaliwanag kung ano ang mga naging proyekto ng gobyerno and how it affects yung ating mga korporasyon, mga businesses sa private sector. Kasama po natin today si Mr. Kevin Tan, ang Chief Executive Officer and Vice Chairman of the Alliance Global Group Incorporated. At kasama doon yung Mega World Corporation. Tama po ba?
Mega World, yeah. Emperador, Travelers, and McDonald's.
Ayan, Emperador, Travelers, and McDonald's. So ano po ito? Maraming sektor po ang may kinalaman dito. So nandun yung tourism, nandun yung food and beverage, at saka
mall business,
real estate. Ayan.
And liquor.
Magandang araw pala, Kevin.
Ay, good afternoon,
Okay.
RJ. Welcome back.
Salamat. So bigyan mo ng konting description kung ano yung mga businesses na involved yung Mega World at saka Alliance Global.
Yeah, so Alliance Global Group is we are in foreign businesses, real estate through Mega World Corporation. We are also nasa integrated resorts and tourism through Travelers or Newport World Resorts, yung resort na across the airport, across NAIA 3. We're also the largest selling brandy company in the world, Emperador. Brandy, alam mo naman.
I'm a fan.
You're a fan. Thank you. Emperador actually has operations both here in the Philippines, in Mexico, in Spain, and in the UK. We also have a single malt company in the UK. And we are also a proud partner of the local franchise of McDonald's.
Ayun. So, Kevin, alam naman natin noong pandemic, isa sa mga hardest hit na sectors ay yung tourism, di ba? So, malamang marami sa mga hotels na tinamaan. Pwede bang paliwanag sa amin kung ano yung pinagdaanan nyo ng panahon na yun?
Well, napakahirap nung pandemic, no? Hindi lang hotel ang tinamaan, no? Lahat almost all our businesses were affected. Food business or McDonald's business was affected. Mall business, halos sarado lahat ng mga malls namin. Integrated resort also practically closed. In fact, ang only business yata na kumita nung pandemic is yung alak eh.
Kasi walang magawa and inuman tayo sa bahay.
Oo. Although, mahirap din mag-operate nung time na yon dahil iba-iba kasi ang mga rules ng mga LGUs. Some LGUs had a liquor ban, but then the next LGU, which is one street away, walang liquor ban. So, ang nangyayari, nagkakaroon ng black market for liquor from street to street. No?
But sige, mag-focus tayo dun sa hospitality industry. So, di ba yung mga lockdowns, yung travel restrictions, etc., that lasted for almost 2 years.
One thing that I recall nung 2022, because I remember 2022, nung beginning, nandun pa yung Omicron, di ba? Tapos, there was a big surge, and then slowly throughout the campaign season, we noticed na bumababa na yung lockdowns. Gatherings were already allowed, no? But one remarkable thing I remember nung pag-upo ni PBBM is that how quickly they were able to restore normalcy.
Nung natapos na yung pandemic, at di ba ang problema natin yan, mababa yung consumption levels, di ba, ng taong bayan. And we had to encourage consumption para magkaroon economic activity. So how did the government interact with Mega World and other corporations in the hospitality industry, for example, para po tulungan kayo na mag-emerge, makabalik back to normal?
I think one of the things na the government did very quickly was, simple things like the removal of mask mandate. Kasi ang mask mandate dati, ano yan, may psychological effect yan on the consumers. When it was removed, we immediately saw an uptick in consumption. No? More people were going to our malls, more people were eating out, more people were traveling, simply because people finally felt safe. No? Even with the mask before, you still didn't have that feeling of safety. When that was removed, immediately you saw the recovery go full swing.
Masasabi mo ba na at this point, we're already in 2024, na nakabalik na kayo doon sa pre-pandemic levels o bumabawi pa?
Actually, 2023 was a record-breaking year for all our businesses. That was right after the opening of the economy. PBBM had already come in 2022. Then 2023, that was, I think, the full recovery already. And that's when you saw na all our businesses were on all-time high, even higher than pre-pandemic.
So
Even
you
higher.
had to expand, no?
We were, and yeah, of course, we had to expand. No?
Before the pandemic, give me a ballpark figure lang. How many people ba are employed by Mega World Corporation? Kaya to the nearest 10,000 siguro.
Well, the group,
Lang Alliance, sorry.
no, Alliance Global Group employs up to around 40,000 people for our four different businesses, various businesses.
So far ngayon, 2024, dumami ba yung hinire ninyo?
Yes, I mean right now, for example, in construction activities alone, we have about 20,000 people working in our construction sites all over the country today. Before the pandemic, it was less than half, or even less than half pa, no? So, sa tourism, for example, today we have about 15,000 people working in our hospitality business. Again, this wasn't the case during the pandemic. Case in point also, in the last 2 years since PBBM has become president, we had actually now opened 5 new townships all over the Philippines.
Ano ba yung township? Pwedeng pa-explain lang kasi honestly ako I don't know.
Sure.
I have a general idea of what they are,
Sure.
but I don't exactly know what they are.
Sure.
So pa-explain naman ano ba yung township?
For Mega World, what we specialize in is building what we call these township concepts. In township, it really puts together housing component with the working component, which is offices, retail, sometimes schools. And then we build the infrastructure, the roads, the utilities. So para siyang mini city. We currently now have about 32 townships all over the Philippines. 5 of that we actually launched or opened during the time that the last 2 years since PBBM had become the president. So, and this year alone, we probably will launch another 3 more townships to close it out at 35.
Tama ba yun na pag nagtayo kayo ng bagong township sa isang locality, it breaks business, di ba?
Absolutely. I call the township concept an economic catalyst or economic driver. Half of our townships, by the way, are outside Metro Manila. So, whenever we build a township, let's say in a place like, for example, one of our townships is in Palawan, in a relatively new area called San Vicente. We are actually the first one there. But when we open, we believe that it will become an economic driver. It will create jobs for the local communities.
Hindi na kailangan magsiksikan sa Manila.
Hindi na sa Manila. We did this also in Iloilo. Pag pumunta ka sa Iloilo Business Park, we actually have an entire city there, no? I think we've helped transform the BPO sector, the business process outsourcing sector in Iloilo. And we have created up to 100,000 new jobs there in our city alone. So these are economic drivers, and we hope to bring this to different parts of the Philippines.
Ito medyo out of left field lang. Kasi syempre marami sa mga kababayan natin, they want to, form their own small business, maybe a restaurant or some kind of shop. Tapos kunwari nabalitaan ko, uy, yung Mega World, magtatayo pala ng township in this place. Tapos kapitbahay ko lang pala. So, open ba kayo na kontrata dun sa mga ganong mga maliliit na negosyante or puro kayo mga naka-prangkisa?
No, 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 not at all. Actually, majority of our we allocate a certain amount of our space para sa mga MSMEs or the local businesses. We and what we provide them is a space where there's already a captive market kasi nandun na yung mga residente na that we bring in, nandun yung mga office workers. There's natural traffic, and it's a prime location. So definitely, we like working with the local economy. We like working with the local population as well. So pag nagpapasok kami ng mga business process outsourcing, that gives employments to the local population. And then when we do the construction, again, the local population benefits. Tapos meron pang mga ripple effects yan, yung mga transportation, mga tindahan.
Correct.
So it really helps boost the local economy.
Yeah, actually, sinasabi ko nga rin sa mga followers ko sa Thinking Pinoy. For example, may bagong call center. Siyempre, yung mga call center agents na yan, kakailangan nila mag-lunch break. So, pati yung mga tendera ng mga Jolly Jeep, halimbawa, sa Makati, kumikita din yung mga yan. So merong parang domino effect. It creates even more jobs.
Absolutely.
So, speaking of job generation, at napag-usapan natin yung real estate arm ng Alliance Global. Let's talk about naman yung mga hotel. So, sa ngayon ba, ilang mga hotels and generally sa mga areas merong mga hotel holdings ang Alliance Global?
We're currently the largest hotel operator in the country. We have almost 8,000 room keys all over. So we have 17 brands on the Mega World side. And then you can add also the hotels under Travelers or Newport World Resorts, where we have all the international brands like the Marriott, Sheraton, Hilton, Okura, Holiday Inn. Case in point, again, the last 2 years, especially since PBBM took office, we actually opened 3,600 new hotel room keys. Last month, we had just opened our largest hotel, the Grand West Side Hotel, which has 1,530
Saan
room
ba yun?
keys. Doon po sa Bay Area, in between the two casinos, in between Soler and Okada. And actually, the president inaugurated it as well.
Yeah, so ilang jobs meron yung bagong hotel niya na yun?
That hotel will, kasi that entire district, kasi that's part of an entire district with casinos.
Yes.
And eventually, we will also build an entertainment area called we call it the Broadway of Asia, which is we call it the West Side District, Broadway of Asia, where we have several mga theaters to promote performing arts. So all in all, mga 20,000 people.
Like parang West End?
Parang West End, parang Broadway. Kasi, alam mo, we've been doing shows in our Newport Performing Arts Theater. Hindi ko alam kung napanood. Hindi mo yata nahabol yung parokya ni Edgar, no?
Hindi, pero napapanood ko yung minsan may mga plays.
Yes,
musicals.
yes.
Fan ako ng mga
Fan. Okay. So, right now, ang ginagawa namin is we take local music, Filipino music, tapos i-interpret namin into a playwright. We did it already with Eraserheads. We did it with Parokya ni Edgar. We have a very good formula. Pero ang na-notice namin, to really elevate Filipino entertainment, the only way we can do it is through performing arts. Kasi pag mga film, hindi natin kayang talunin yung mga taga-US.
Grabe ang marketing budget nila.
Grabe yung budget nila. Music rin, unless you can hire the best songwriters, no? Although, lumalaban na rin tayong minsan sa music. Pero pagdating sa play, medyo all things are equal because you can only spend so much for the set, no? So it's really the talents. So we're promoting musicals, plays. We're promoting comedy. Alam mo, one of the best comedians in the world is Filipino. all you need is one guy, is a stage, diba?
Yeah,
And
stand up lang siya doon.
stand up lang, and you can fill up an entire arena. So we believe in promoting. We believe in promoting the talents, no. So ang kailangan dito is infrastructure, venues, and so that's what we hope to bring in Westside City. So this hotel is just the first part of this entire concept, and we hope to generate about 20,000 jobs, all in all, in the whole complex.
Alright. So, syempre, natutuwa naman ako nag-expand kayo and all. But nung panahon pa lang na pinaplano nyo pa lang yan, ano ba yung mga pinakamalaking challenges na hinarap ng Alliance Global?
Well, of course, the Philippines, the always our problem is infrastructure. And so that becomes a little bit of a challenge. That has always been the challenge in the last few years, no. But with this administration, I think infrastructure development is one of its key pillars, no, and key priorities. Case in point, the recently privatization of NAIA.
Yes.
Of course, sumali rin kami dun sa bidding. Natalo kami. Pero okay lang. Okay lang naman.
Sport lang
Oh,
lang.
we're happy nevertheless because at the end of the day, first and foremost, we're very comforted naman that it went to San Miguel, which is very reputable company, and we feel they know what they're doing, and we feel it's good for the country. Alam mo tong again, this is a 20-year journey. Alam mo how many administrations na sinubukan nilang i-privatize yung Manila International or NAIA International Airport, no? Pero it couldn't be done. Only this administration within its first 2 years, no less, no. And that, I think, gives us a lot of confidence now to continue to expand. Kasi once you open up, ang problema lang naman ng Pilipinas is really accessibility for tourists. Once that opens up, then next thing you need now are hotel rooms.
Yes.
We have a shortage of hotel rooms. So our group hopes to build up to 12, even 15,000 hotel rooms in the next 5 years. And we are confident in building this because nga, all the infrastructure projects are now being put in place. First and foremost, the airport being first and foremost, no?
Yeah.
The most important, the most important project to date for tourism.
Yeah. I think yung pinapaliwanag sa atin ni Kevin kanina, kahit sa kasamaang palad, hindi sila sinuwerte na manalo rin sa bidding ng NAIA, parang hindi naman to zero-sum game.
Not at all.
If San Miguel Corporation does a good job pagdating sa rehabilitation ng NAIA, every one of us benefits. Parang sa Alliance Global, mas marami magiging traffic dahil darating yung mga turista dito. Para sa atin naman, hindi na po tayo maiinitan masyado sa NAIA. Wala na po mahi-heat stroke sa loob. So,
I think it benefits all businesses.
actually, it benefits everybody.
It's not just tourism, but it builds confidence also to investors who come to the Philippines, and it's the first thing that they see is the airport. And luckily, they will start San Miguel will be able to start by September, and we will see results already in the next 6 months, siguro, no?
Okay. So far, so napag-usapan na rin natin dahil syempre you participate in bidding, 'di ba? Sa mga sari-saring government projects. And kumusta naman yung relasyon ng, 'di ba? Syempre kayo mga malalaking mga korporasyon, you essentially talk to each other once in a while, hindi ba? So paano pag halimbawa na-realize nyo na may problema tayo sa policy, parang we want to create new jobs pero it hinders us. Paano nyo na idudulog sa gobyerno yun? Kasi sila ang gumagawa ng policy, hindi naman kayo di ba?
One thing about President Marcos Jr., that I can say is that at least this particular government, from what I see, is one of the most business-friendly governments I've ever seen. No? And very inclusive and very collaborative. Case in point, yung itong Private Sector Advisory Council na finorm nila at the beginning of the administration. I think that concept is really a stroke of genius, no? You basically put together 30 of the country's top business leaders. You put them all in different committees, different mandates. Like me personally, I'm in the job sector. And then you have agriculture, digitalization, ano ba yung sa infrastructure, tourism, medical, no? So obviously these are the priorities of the government. And it's correct, no? And you put them all together, competitors or not, you're working together as a team. Um, some with even different political leanings, who knows. Pero lahat nilagay mo sa isang kwarto at pinag-uusapan ang mga problema, and then we present to the president once every quarter, and the president actually really listens. Um, of course, hindi naman lahat ng suggestions pumapasa, syempre, 'di ba? Pinag-iisipan 'yan, but it allows the private sector to have an audience or to have a voice. And again, this is something that I have not seen before. And I think that this collaborative environment is very conducive, and it really creates a very positive atmosphere for business. Um, that's one of that's one of the things na nakita kong
So is
positive.
it safe to say na parang so nagmi-meet ang top businessmen and kumbaga parang tulong-tulungan paangat imbis na hila-hilaan pababa. Tama ba?
Exactly.
So dun sa mga sinuggest niyo sa kay PBBM through the advisory council, yung ano ba tawag? PISAC.
PISAC, Private Sector Advisory Council.
Ayan, Private Sector Advisory Council. Alin ba dun yung, bigyan mo lang kahit one or two examples lang nung napagbigyan kayo and somehow, it created jobs or
Yeah. Well, one thing that I wanted to this is not per se, this is not with my committee, no, but with another committee, a tourism committee. One thing that they were able to get passed is itong mga visa on arrival from India, and I think even at one point China. Alam mo ba that is transformative for our tourism industry. Because right now, to be able to get a visa to come to the Philippines, ang haba ng proseso. I think what they were able to do is not really visa on arrival, but a online portal to be able to apply for your visa. Again, transformative yan. To be able to bring in the quality tourists into our country.
so nabawasan yung red tape.
Nabawasan ng red tape. Of course, I think it's still a work in progress, no? Pero yung India yata mauna na or nagawa na yata eh. So, magsisimula na yan. Alam mo, India is probably, is one of the largest economies now in the world. If you go to Singapore, one of their highest tourist arrivals after China are actually from India. So ang laki ng market na yan to be able to get that to the Philippines. No? We have a lot of local Indian. We have also a very big local Indian community, which helps. So that's something that I think will be very good for the country and really will boost tourism. So it's one of the examples I can name.
All right, let's just take a step back. Kasi we've been talking for 30 minutes na and we're talking about, building hotels, boosting tourism, etc., etc., etc. And then I suddenly remembered, I think it was a few weeks ago, I got to talk to the president, informally lang. And then I said, kailangan lumaki yung ekonomiya ng Pilipinas, lalo na ngayon kako na bata pa yung populasyon natin. We're not yet aging that fast. And then he said, alam mo talaga, pinakamahalaga tourism. Tas ang problema, hindi ko naman tinanong kung bakit. Basta kasi medyo starstruck pa ako nun eh. So, paliwanag mo sa akin lang, Kevin, of all the sectors sa economy natin, ba't iba yung gigil ng Pilipinas na i-boost yung tourism?
First, because of the Filipinos and our culture. The Filipino hospitality professional is the most sought after nationality all over the world. Alam mo, every year, for example, sa hotels namin, we lose anywhere from 300 to 500 people a year na kinukuha to go abroad. Sa cruise ships, sa Middle East, sa Europe, especially ngayon na may gera sa Russia and Ukraine. Dati kasi yung mga hospitality personnel sa mga servers sa Europe are usually from Ukraine or Russia.
Ukrainians.
So ngayon wala na. So Filipinos ang kinukuha nila, no? So we're the most sought after. Kasi we're naturally talented in that respect. We were really made for tourism. mabait tayo, magaling tayo mag-English, we can entertain, mapasensyahin,
Naliligo madalas.
diligon madalas. Um, and so, low-hanging fruit sa atin yan eh. Natural tayo dyan eh. And because of our young population, it's the easiest to train for this sector eh. So, really what's needed lang talaga, and I think the government under PBBM is now doing it, is really, let's fix the infrastructure, let's fix the airports. Hindi lang yung Manila International Airport, but also the regional airports. Also, connectivity, roads, trains, all that, no? Because that is what the tourists need. Eh. And when you look at our regional neighbors, no, they're doing, like Thailand is 30 million tourists, Singapore's 20
Nakakaingit,
million.
no?
Yeah. Philippines easily next few years kaya natin mag 10 million tingin ko. Eh. Sabi ko nga kay PBBM one time, actually kahit 20 million we can even target that even beyond the next the next 5 years. With the airports now coming, you'll have maybe Naiya, you'll have maybe Bulacan and Clark, the three airports combined. We can have, if we can start bringing in yung mga long haul flights from Europe, from US, alam mo yung mga US flights, that's the most popular flights sa mga local carriers natin. No? If you can bring in more long haul flights, which higher capacity, you can easily get the numbers up.
So, yung higher capacity, but di ba parang at least partially, ang target yata ng San Miguel is sa Bulacan Airport by 1 or 2 years before PBBM's term ends. So parang 2026, 2027. Tapos meron na ring rehabilitation na naiya ngayon. Tapos nagkausap ko si Sabina Aboitiz po na Aboitiz Group yesterday. Ang sabi naman niya, target daw, tumaas daw ng up to 60 million daw, parang gano'n na maging capacity ng naiya from currently 30 odd
40,
million. Gano'n. So, given that, na mukhang generally sa pagkakapinta mo sa amin, mukhang supportive naman ang administration pagdating sa pag-boost ng tourism, infrastructure, etc. Would you say that the economy is being managed well, or are there significant areas for improvement?
I think the economy in this administration. Well, I think this administration is definitely managing the economy very well. Like I said, first is the way that it's very business friendly and very open to engaging the local businesses or the businesses entities in this country. I think also secondly is the the outwardliness of our president. I mean, yung going out to different countries and trying to promote the Philippines and inviting foreign investors to come. That's a huge, again, step for us. No, I don't think any president has done it in this way, no, in this manner. Especially now in the time na alam mo, this world is very polarized, diba? Nagkakanya-kanyahan tayo. We're going through a period of deglobalization. It's even more important that we have an administration that goes out and tries to bring the business in, no? And I've traveled with the president several times, and I've seen the response from the international community, and the international entities, the foreign entities, and when they hear them talk, when they hear them explain things, right away the interest is there. Kaya I was told, no, na in the first half of this year, BOI recorded, I think, one of their highest amounts of pledges, no? I think 950 billion pesos worth of pledges. I think the highest it has ever had in any 6 months period, no? I think this is testament to really that push to have a more outward looking economy, no? Kami sa aming businesses, we see it also because we are always promoting the Philippines to foreign investors through the BPO sectors. And on many foreign trips, we've actually talked to a few of them, and a lot of them have actually shown a lot of interest to expand here or to come in here for the first time.
So doon sa 900 plus billion na mga pledges, and Siyempre may iba diyan hindi matutuloy, 'di ba? Kaya nga pledge pa lang, 'di ba? Pero siyempre may iba na natuloy na and pumasok na sila sa bansa. So yung palagay, how will that help the average Pinoy on the street? Parang kung ako tatanong, ano pa alam ko diyan?
First and foremost is the job creation. No? To have foreign investors come in and set up shop in the Philippines, that creates jobs, diba? And then of course, that also creates, when they're here, they train people, they invest in our economy. So it also trains not just the current generation but the next generation as well. Um, and it creates a lot of trade within our country as well. So definitely lahat tayo nagbe-benefit sa foreign investment, no. Kaya napaka-importante yung ginagawa ng presidente natin to go to different countries. And you see right away, I mean, you mentioned pledges, pero the fact that there's interest, no. I think it's a huge sign.
There's confidence.
There's really confidence. And then I've seen them personally also come to the Philippines. Alam mo, there's been quite a number of activities already where you've had some of the top corporations from the US, by the way, and it's just never been done before. I think this was 2 months ago. Then the US, with their trade secretary, Secretary Raimundo, she brought a delegation to the Philippines. I don't think a delegation of this size has ever come to the Philippines before. And these were, across all industries, from power to aeronautics to technology. Lahat sila pumunta dito. Talagang nakipag-usap sa mga business leaders to ask how it is to invest in the Philippines. And I think some of them are quite interested, especially now that also during this administration, there was basically a clarification on the ownership, no, or the full ownership of renewable energy. I think that will greatly help also our country.
Alright. Ito na-intriga lang ako sa sinabi mo na si US Trade Secretary Raimundo went here. Tapos mayroon siyang retinue ng isang tambak ng mga top businessmen. So, kasi kailangan pa ng mga 20 years bago ako maging tycoon kamukha mo. So, give me time. So, kailangan, I learned from you. So, ganito. So, nabalitaan nyo, may darating na business delegation dito. So, how does that work? I mean, do you contact them and set up meetings? Ano ba ang mga opportunities na ibigay specifically sa iyong conglomerate? Anong mga opportunities na create noong mga ganong classic trade visits?
I think the palace organized several activities, parang business matching, which is very proactive, in my opinion, because some of these entities are obviously looking for our local partners or local knowledge. So there were several activities with various business leaders and companies, no, for them to be able to interact with the local conglomerates, no. So that I think is again malaking bagay yan, no, to build confidence also for the foreign investments.
Tama ba yung ini-imagine ko na, for example, kung gusto ng Alliance Global na i-expand yung portfolio ng mga hotels, tas may mga hoteliers na pupunta rito, or maybe business process outsourcing companies, sabihin nyo, dito na lang kayo mag-set up ng shop sa building namin.
Actually, I met a few, and we're in talks with some of them. Di ko lang pwede sabihin kung sino, pero in fact, that's not just office building. They want us to build them a campus. They want us to build them their own building. May ganun eh. And us being a local developer, we're more than happy to do it. Again, these are opportunities that has been opened up by this government.
Yeah, kasi ini-imagine ko lang, magtayo lang kayo ng bagong building, construction jobs na yon.
Exactly.
Naggumagana na yung building, operations and maintenance, pati yung office jobs, etc.
And the jobs it creates. And remember, per square meter, how many jobs? For every 5 square meter of office space that we build, we actually create 2 new jobs. So may multiplier effect. Plus the fact that these are normally new jobs. So accretive to, no? And then of course, yung mga commercial establishments, the MSMEs around it, they benefit as well.
Hawa-hawa na yan.
Hawa-hawa, housing, transportation, diba? So, nagkaroon ng domino effect talaga eh. Positive effect.
Pero request ko lang, magdamihan nyo yung development sa labas ng Maynila.
Yeah.
Hindi kasi, sa totoo lang guys, di ba, alam naman natin, isa sa mga pinaka socially costly na realities ng pagiging Pinoy ay yung OFWs. Why socially costly? Dahil it breaks families eh.
Yeah.
Naiiwan yung mga anak dito nagtatrabaho abroad. Yung mga nasa probinsya, parang ganoon din yung kwento nila eh. Iniiwanan yung anak sa probinsya, nagtatrabaho sa Maynila.
Yeah.
Hindi po ba?
Yeah.
So far, maliban doon, set aside lang muna natin yung mga projects ninyo sa NCR and Cebu. Saan ba mga generally, saan ba mga lugar merong mga yung townships or parang nagtatayo kayo ng bagong mga businesses lalabas doon sa dalawang major na metropolises?
Actually, out of 32 townships to date, 22 of our townships are already outside Metro Manila. And most of our expansions, if not all our expansions now, are actually outside Metro Manila. We're in all the major cities. We're in Iloilo. That's our flagship outside Metro Manila. Of course, Bacolod, which the president also inaugurated in beginning of his administration. We have in Cebu, Mactan. We have in Cavite, Boracay, Palawan, Davao. We have in Batangas, Pampanga, Bulacan. Sorry, all over yung geography ko pag gano'n tayo.
Okay lang. Na-imagine naman namin.
Talo tayo sa buong Pilipinas.
Okay lang yan.
We are launching something all the way up in the north soon. Yeah.
Saan sa banda sa north?
Pinaka north. Hindi pwede ko na
Ilocos. Pwede na ba? Wag daw muna. Pero usog.
Pero sinabi ko na po to sinabi ko na po to sa presidente na report ko na po to. Pero all the way up to the north.
Pero supportive si presidente dyan.
I think so.
Hindi kasi, pwede paliwanag lang. Kasi ngayon, nung kinuwento mo, yung dami nung mga lugar kung saan kayo nag-establish ng townships. Natanda ko uli, yung interview ko kay Sabin kahapon, ng Aboitiz Group. Ang sabi niya, mahalaga daw na i-improve yung operations and maintenance ng ating mga airports.
Yes.
And he strongly said, and the PISAC, where you're part of, sila just kay President na i-privatize na lang kasi hindi yung airport but yung operations and maintenance para mas maging efficient. No. How does that synergize doon sa plano ninyo na basically mag-decentralize ng economic growth sa Pilipinas?
I think an airport is absolutely necessary when it's not within driving distance from Metro Manila. A good airport is absolutely key. Nagbukas kami sa Iloilo, for example, nung yung airport when they built a brand new airport, no. I agree with Sabin that our airports have, at least operation maintenance, have to be at least privatized already. It also relieves a lot of the work and I guess the burden of our transportation department. Kasi then they can focus on things like rail and other and subway, for example. Kasi ang airport, once you privatize it, the entity can achieve a good scale, especially kung marami siyang maliliit na airport na hinahawakan. So I think that that's the number one thing that has to happen in order to improve accessibility into a location. Pero syempre, in that locale also, everything from the power to the water, infrastructure to the roads, they also have to be fixed. And that's why nakikita naman namin na ang laki din ng ina-allocate ng government, especially this government, to developing the infrastructure in the countryside. And we also see, for example, in Iloilo, yung power, na-privatize na rin. I mean, it was used to be...
Laging brown out lagi doon eh.
Pero ngayon it's improved greatly because it has also has a new owner and has changed owner. So, I think lahat ng itong nangyayari, it helps bring a lot of the business outside Metro Manila. But one notable thing then I would like to say, is that one thing that encourages us to also expand outside Metro Manila and build these townships sa mga different areas, different provinces is itong PESA accreditation. Which I think has been very, this administration has been very encouraging of that. No? Kasi itong mga PESA accreditation, Philippine Economic Zone Authority accreditation, it gives incentives to the locators to locate, no? Through this administration, we were able to actually get a PESA accreditation for one of our projects in Pasig. But at the same time, we are applying as well for accreditation in our various projects outside Manila. And I think once we get that accreditation, it will create a massive amount of jobs and developments into that in those particular province. And BPOs ang galing ng job generator ng BPO.
Alright, para lang konting context, syempre, isa sa mga pinaka-challenge ng mga gustong bumuo ng bagong businesses, yung capital, yung kailangan cost of capital, kailangan din nila i-boost yung profitability. Pag merong PEZA accreditation, di ba merong preferential tax bracket? Tama ba?
Yeah. You get a tax holiday, but at the same time, the entity works only with one agency. They don't need to get any more permit from the local government or from this. Parang ano siya, all encompassing. So parang ano siya, in terms of ease of doing business.
Yes.
The PESA route is probably the best, if not the best.
Kumbaga,
route.
isang kausap na lang.
One-stop shop ang tawag nila doon. So napaka-importante yung PESA accreditation, and PBBM has been very, very supportive again of this particular route, no, and this particular concept. This government does recognize that this is one of the key features in expanding to the countryside development.
Okay, so balik lang tayo ng konti. Napag-usapan natin kanina yung Private Sector Advisory Council na yung mga tycoons, yung mga biggest business leaders, you talk amongst yourselves and submit suggestions to the president. At the risk of sounding repetitive, pero di ba ang paborito na linyahan ni Pangulong BBM and his entire team, sama-sama tayong babangon muli, di ba? And unti-unti, sa pagkakapaliwanag mo, bumabangon na yung tourism industry. Generally, economy bumabangon na din. Yung Alliance Global, your group, sa pananaw mo, ano yung lugar ninyo doon sa ecosystem na parang aangat ang Pilipinas? Ano yung gusto nyo maging papel sa pag-angat ng Pilipinas?
Well, in the Alliance Global Group, every year, we spend about our capex. For example, this year, our capex is on all-time high. Nasa 75 billion pesos this year. I see that in the next 4 years, that capex would go up to 100 billion a year. Just to let you know, 98% of that capex is going to be spent here and invested here in the Philippines. 50% of our capex will be spent for tourism-related investments, hotels, convention centers, museums, entertainment, and infrastructure related to tourism. 25% of our capex will be spent for township developments. Yeah, creating economic growth in the provinces outside Metro Manila so that we can decongest Metro Manila. So nakita mo, we are showing a lot of commitment talaga to the Philippines only because we are also so confident, because given the current because of the environment that's been created by the current government, no? Itong business-friendly government, a government that's stable, a government that's collaborative, like that of PBBM's, is something that is very conducive for us to continue to invest in the Philippines. Kaya nakikita ko for the next few years, tataas pa rin yung investments namin dito, no? And definitely businesses for us has been good. We do see still a continued increase in tourism arrivals. Ang maganda nga is that the domestic tourism is also very, very, very alive right now.
Alright.
I think that's why yung mga ibang hotels namin sa other localities, aside from the foreign tourists, we actually get a lot of local tourists just going around the country. So the confidence is there. And then, of course, we're emboldened to expand pa because foreign investors also want to come in and invest. And so that becomes also part of our anchor or part of our business model.
Alright. So, doon sa mga hindi familiar, ang CAPEX po, ibig sabihin, capital expenditure.
Sorry.
So, yun yung ini-earmark, yun yung sineset ng mga businesses. For example, the Alliance Global, initially ngayon, 75 billion, sabi mo.
Yeah,
Diba?
yeah.
Yun yung basically invest nila pantayo ng bagong, pag-expand ng operations or pagtayo ng bagong.
Just for this year alone, ito. Just
Ang
for
bottom
one
line, it creates jobs.
It
Ganun.
creates jobs, yeah.
Para sa isang bata na nasa college pa. Na yung, kasi ang pinakamalaking problema ng kahit sinong bata na 18, 19 years old, hindi pa niya makonekta kung paano yung gagawin kahanap buhay yung kanyang pinag-aaralan. And kabado ang mga bata di ba? So, my question for you is, ano sabihin mo sa mga estudyante natin ngayon sa kolehiyo na what can they look forward to at least in the medium term? Paglabas ba nila ng university, anong klaseng ekonomiya ang malamang na maaasahan nila?
Well, a lot of industries are getting maraming bagong industries ang pumapasok ngayon. Of course, tourism. I keep talking about tourism kasi yun yung focus talaga ng group namin. But like I said a while ago, I touched a little bit a while ago on energy or power. That industry is also growing. Infrastructure as well is growing. We're trying as well to bring in manufacturing, engineering. So I think what the government's doing now is preparing the future by inviting a lot of these new industries to come and invest in the Philippines, so that the future generation, yung mga nag-aaral ngayon, marami silang options, marami silang pagpipilian kung saan sila pwede magtrabaho. I think that's really the legacy that this administration is trying to achieve.
And final question. Honest question to and I need a really honest answer. Sino nagugupit ng buhok mo? Sa lahat na nakita kong tycoon, siya pinakamaganda ang buhok, guys. Walang biro. Tabi ka sa bin. Mas maganda ang buhok ni Kevin kaysa sa'yo.
Well, I have it. I cut my hair in basement in Eastwood City, which is also our township. So, ano rin yun? Pang-advertise ng
sariling atin. Maraming salamat. Kasama po natin ngayon si Mr. Kevin Tan ng Alliance Global. Ako po siya Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Again, ako po si RJ Nieto ng Thinking Pinoy. At hanggang sa susunod po na episode ng ating Through the Lens. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you.